Hey loves, and welcome to Inner Love Messages. My name is Sarah, and if you're new here, welcome to the channel. If you're already subscribed, welcome back. Tonight, I've got a special message for you, a no-contact message from your person. I'll be pulling from this deck to get a glimpse into how they're feeling, how they view you, and your connection, and any important messages they might want to share with you right now. The message, "I feel naked in your presence," carries a profound emotional weight. It speaks to something far deeper than physical exposure. It reflects the feeling of being fully seen, completely transparent, and emotionally bare in front of another person. It's about having every flaw, insecurity, and hidden part of oneself brought to light in the presence of someone who sees right through the surface. There's no mask, no armor, no safe distance. It's just raw truth, and for many people, that level of vulnerability is both beautiful and terrifying at the same time. This message feels especially relevant for someone who is deeply intuitive, perhaps a divine feminine with a strong energetic sensitivity. You might be the kind of person who doesn't just listen to what people say but can feel what they're not saying. You have this natural ability to tune into someone's emotional undercurrents, even when they try their best to hide them. You sense what lies beneath the surface, the truth they carry but don't always speak. And while that ability is incredibly powerful, it can also be a lot for others to handle, especially those who tend to keep their emotions under lock and key. When someone says they feel naked in your presence, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It means you've touched something real in them. But for someone who isn't used to being that open, who's always relied on emotional distance or strong defenses, your presence can feel like a mirror they didn't ask to look into. And that mirror doesn't just reflect what's beautiful, it reflects everything. You see what they try to avoid, even within themselves, and because of this, your presence becomes something both magnetic and overwhelming. Now, looking at your love life, this depth of perception you carry may be stirring things up with a particular masculine energy in your field. Even if the two of you haven't been in contact lately, the emotional tether is still very much alive. The feelings between you haven't faded with time or distance. If anything, they've grown stronger because of the unresolved nature of the connection, but something is holding them back from reaching out, and that something is vulnerability. This person isn't avoiding you because they don't care. Quite the opposite. They feel deeply. But that depth makes them hesitate. They're afraid of what it would mean to open up, to be seen so fully by someone who already feels like they know the parts of them they've tried to keep hidden. Vulnerability like that requires an immense amount of courage, and when someone is used to being guarded, the thought of exposing themselves emotionally can be paralyzing. It's not easy to face your own truth, especially in the eyes of someone who won't let you run from it. In your presence, they feel as though every layer they've used to protect themselves is stripped away. They worry they'll say the wrong thing or show too much. And that fear keeps them from taking the leap, even if their heart aches to be close to you again. They don't want to risk being rejected or misunderstood. There's also the internal discomfort of facing emotions they've long tried to suppress. With you, hiding isn't really an option. You see right through the performance, right into the soul. What this message is really highlighting is how powerful your presence truly is. You awaken something in people, a raw honesty that can't be faked. And while that can make some feel uneasy, it's also a reflection of how deep and transformative your energy is. This isn't just about romance or attraction, it's about the kind of connection that strips away illusions and invites real, lasting growth. You invite people into authenticity. You call them to be who they truly are, not who they pretend to be. And that, in itself, is sacred. So, while this person may be distant or silent, it's not because they're indifferent, it's because being seen by you is such a vulnerable experience that they're still learning how to navigate it. You've stirred something in them that doesn't go away with time or separation. Even the thought of you brings back a wave of emotion they don't quite know how to handle. That connection still lives in them, quietly but powerfully. They find themselves questioning how much you know, how much you sense, and how you can still feel so close even when you're apart. That kind of emotional intimacy is rare. And for someone who prefers to be in control of their image, your ability to see beyond their surface can feel both awe-inspiring and intimidating. The most fascinating part of this dynamic is that time hasn't diluted the bond. Distance hasn't dulled the feelings. Whether it's been months or years, the emotional current remains strong. They might try to convince themselves otherwise, but when they think of you, that feeling of being completely exposed still lingers, and it shakes them because they're used to managing how they're perceived. But with you, there's no room for pretending. You see them as they are. You feel them. There's something especially powerful about the way you look at people, You might not even realize how deeply your eyes reach into someone's soul. It's not just empathy, it's a kind of knowing, a silent, energetic understanding that goes far beyond words. Your gaze doesn't just observe, it unveils. And this person has felt that. Whether they've ever spoken it aloud or not, they've always sensed that you know, that you understand the parts of them they haven't dared to show to anyone else. And that kind of exposure can be incredibly unsettling for someone who's spent their life guarding those very parts. This isn't just about being seen, it's about being seen by you, someone who doesn't need explanations, someone who just knows. That level of connection doesn't come around often, and it's not something that disappears easily. In fact, it might be the very reason they've pulled away, because in your presence, they're not just a version of themselves, they're all of themselves. And that's scary for someone who isn't ready to look at all the pieces they've hidden from the world. So if they've been silent, distant, or hesitant, it's not a reflection of their lack of care, it's a sign of just how intense this connection is for them. They aren't running from you, they're trying to protect themselves from the overwhelming vulnerability they feel with you. But make no mistake, the bond is still there. The feelings haven't disappeared. They've simply been tucked away, behind emotional walls they're not quite ready to tear down. At the heart of this message is a reminder, your energy is powerful. Your presence doesn't just draw people in, it transforms them. It calls out the truth. It brings light to the shadows they've ignored, and while not everyone will be ready to face that immediately, the impact you make is lasting. You're a mirror, a truth teller, a soul-deep connection in a world that often stays on the surface, so continue to honor that part of yourself. Trust in the power of your intuitive nature. You were never meant to be small or to dim your light for the comfort of others. The right people, those ready to face themselves, to grow, and to be real, will recognize the gift that you are. And when that moment of readiness comes, this person may just find the courage to step forward, not because they figured it all out, but because they finally trust that being seen by you might just be the most healing thing they've ever experienced. You have this quiet power about you, one that doesn't need words to make itself known. With just a glance or simply your presence, you seem to effortlessly disarm people. It's something they can't quite explain, and it leaves them both shaken and captivated. There's an energy exchange happening when you're near, something that doesn't follow logic but instead speaks directly to the heart. Without even meaning to, you become a mirror for them, showing them the sides of themselves they've buried, ignored, or tried to hide away. And that kind of reflection can feel like a double-edged sword. It's powerful and revealing, but also incredibly uncomfortable. They can't escape what they see in your presence. You see them in a way that most people don't, not just the version they show to the world, but the truest, rawest parts of who they are deep down. That level of being seen is something they might never be able to fully understand, but they won't ever forget it either. When they say something like, "I feel naked around you," it's not just a throwaway comment. It carries weight. It reveals how vulnerable they feel in your presence, how deeply exposed they are when you're near. It's as if you can read them without needing to try, as if you instinctively understand their thoughts, their fears, their desires, sometimes even before they do. And that level of intimacy, that raw openness, can leave someone feeling completely unguarded. It's overwhelming, but at the same time, they're drawn to it, drawn to you. They want to reach out. There's a desire in them to close the distance that's formed between you two, to break the silence, but something holds them back. The connection you share is anything but simple, and approaching you isn't just about saying hello. It means diving headfirst into a pool of emotion they're not sure they're ready to swim in. Just thinking about being in your presence again stirs up so much in them, feelings that are still raw, questions they haven't yet answered, truths they might not be prepared to face. So instead of reaching out, they hesitate. They hold themselves back, even though their heart pulls toward you. To them, talking to you wouldn't be just a conversation. It would be a moment of opening up completely. It would mean stepping into a space where they can't pretend, can't hide, can't rely on their usual ways of protecting themselves. With you, there's no mask that will hold up. And that kind of vulnerability takes emotional strength, the kind that they aren't sure they're ready for yet. Whatever happened the last time you were together left a mark on them. It changed the energy between you, and now reconnecting feels like it carries a weight that wasn't there before. It doesn't feel casual anymore. It feels significant. Before diving into the rest of the message, I just want to say something from the heart. If this reading resonates with you, and you feel moved by the time and energy I've poured into it, consider leaving a super thanks in your name as a small way to say you see and appreciate this work. It means more than you know. You have this unique effect on them, and they know it. There's something about the way you make them feel that no one else does. It's not something they can brush aside or forget. It lingers. It stirs things in them they're not used to feeling. And that's part of what makes everything so intense. Reaching out to you isn't just hard because they don't know what to say. It's hard because of how deeply they feel everything when it comes to you. Your presence alone brings up emotions they haven't yet learned how to handle. It brings up truths that demand to be seen, emotions that insist on being felt, and wounds that maybe they're not quite ready to heal yet. Right now, they're stuck in this space of deep thought, trying to make sense of everything they feel for you. There's this inner conflict playing out. On one side, the desire to be close to you again, and on the other, the fear of everything that closeness might bring up. They don't know how to step forward without confronting the full weight of their emotions, and that's scary. But even with all this uncertainty, they can't shake the thought of you. You remain fixed in their heart and mind, a quiet presence they can't seem to let go of. There may have been silence between you, maybe even a total disappearing act on their part. But that silence doesn't come from a place of indifference. It's rooted in confusion and emotional overwhelm. If they pulled away without explanation, it wasn't because they didn't care. It was because they were struggling with what this connection brought up for them. And in their absence, they've been carrying around this heaviness, the weight of things left unsaid, the ache of not having closure. That unfinished energy still lives in them, and it keeps drawing their mind back to you, even when they try to move forward. They've played out the memories over and over in their mind, trying to pinpoint where things shifted, wondering if they missed something, if they could have done things differently. They keep telling themselves it's time to let go, that maybe moving on is the right path, but something in their heart refuses to cooperate, because despite all logic, you still feel important to them. The bond you share doesn't make sense to them, and that only deepens their emotional struggle. There's something unexplainable about your connection, something that doesn't fit into neat categories. And that mystery, that pull, keeps them stuck in this cycle of wondering, remembering, and yearning. What leaves them especially puzzled is that they don't fully understand what you saw in them. They can't quite grasp what it was that drew you in so deeply, what you felt that made everything between you so profound. But whatever it was, it left a mark on their soul. It's like you reached into them and touched something no one else has ever touched. And no matter how much they try to erase it or forget it, that feeling remains. It wasn't just attraction, and it wasn't just emotional connection. It was something more, something bigger than both of you. Something spiritual, perhaps, or fated. And it's that unknown, that depth that makes the whole thing feel even more intense. Right now, they're wrapped up in a whirlwind of emotions they can't untangle. They don't know how to move forward, and they don't know how to fully let go either. The reason they feel the way they do isn't entirely clear, but what is clear is the hold you have on them. There's a weight to this bond that keeps them anchored to thoughts of you, even when they try to break free. It's like something deeper than the mind is at work, something in the heart, the soul, and that kind of pull can't be ignored no matter how confusing it might be. Even across the distance, your energy lingers. It shows up in their dreams, in their thoughts, in the smallest signs that seem to follow them around. These aren't just random coincidences, they're messages, synchronicities, things that feel too meaningful to brush off. It's as if the universe itself is whispering in their ear, reminding them of you, nudging them to pay attention. They can't help but wonder what it all means. There's this growing sense that your connection is still very much alive, just operating on a different level now. And even if they don't fully understand what's happening, deep down they feel it. Something is unfolding. Something real. Something they're slowly waking up to. They're trying to figure out how to move forward with you, not just in terms of reconnecting, but also how to approach you when the time feels right. Even if there's been distance or silence between you, there's this strong, undeniable pull that keeps reminding them this connection matters, maybe more than they ever realized. Deep down, it's like they've always sensed that this bond serves a greater purpose, something beyond the surface, and now they're in the process of trying to understand what that purpose really is. This isn't just about returning to your life. It's about gaining clarity around the roles you each play in each other's journeys. They know this isn't just a passing connection. Before they take any steps forward, They feel the need to grasp the full depth of what this really means. At the same time, they're uncertain about how you see them. They can't help but wonder if you're feeling something similar or if they're alone in this experience. That thought lingers constantly. Do you feel it too, or is it just them? And even if they were the one who pulled away or created distance, your energy hasn't left them. It lingers, like a whisper in the back of their mind, a feeling that something between you two hasn't been fully resolved. That presence, your energy, stays with them, and they're finding it impossible to ignore. It's turned into something they reflect on deeply, sometimes even wrestle with internally. What seems to echo in their heart more than anything is a quiet, unspoken message. I'm waiting for you. There's a longing tied to that thought, something they might not even fully admit to themselves because it brings up fear. The fear of just how far they might go for this connection. They're feeling pulled in ways they don't quite understand, yet can't resist. It's stirring up urgency within them, but also vulnerability. A fear of stepping into the unknown, of letting their guard down, of losing control of emotions they thought they could manage. But beneath all of that is a truth they can't escape. They need to understand who you really are to them, what this connection truly is, and how it fits into the larger picture of their life. Even though fear and uncertainty are present, they aren't stopping. Despite all the emotional complexity, they're already making choices that lean toward this connection, even if they don't fully know why. There's an inner compass, a deep instinct, that keeps pointing them in your direction. It's not something they can rationalize easily, but they feel it nonetheless. They're still unpacking what this bond means, yet something inside them is already convinced it matters more than anything they've known before. There's also something weighing heavily on them, their current status. It could relate to whether they're in a relationship or not, but it goes deeper than that. They might not be fully committed to someone else, but they're not entirely open either. Emotionally, they're in a liminal space, somewhere between being available and not quite ready. They know they're not in a place where they can offer their whole heart just yet, and that truth is something they're sitting with seriously as they think about their next move with you. It's not a simple situation. It calls for introspection, honesty, and a lot of patience, not just from them, but possibly from you too. Still, the energy they're sending out speaks volumes. Even if they haven't said anything out loud, it's becoming clear that they've already made up their mind about where they stand. There's a certainty forming in them, something steady and unwavering, like a quiet, inner knowing. Once they realize what they want, they don't back down, and that clarity is beginning to show itself. In fact, it's starting to feel like they've been searching for someone like you for a long time, even if they didn't know it until now. Maybe they explored other paths or kept their options open, but deep within, it feels like they've already chosen, and that choice has everything to do with what happened between you. What you shared wasn't casual. It left a mark. It was transformative, rich in meaning, and felt spiritually charged in a way that's hard to explain. That time spent together revealed something to them, something they can't forget. That moment, or that chapter of your connection, is still at the forefront of their heart and mind, shaping how they see you and what you mean to them. They're starting to realize that what they feel for you isn't just emotional or mental, it's physical, magnetic, and deeply rooted in desire. No one else seems to affect them the way you do, and this recognition has hit them hard. It's made it crystal clear that they can't let someone else fill the space you've occupied in their life. The depth of your impact might be something you're not even fully aware of, especially when you're apart. But every so often, you might feel their presence out of nowhere, almost like they're reaching out to you energetically, and in those moments, know that it's not just your imagination. Something is shifting within them. Their reaction to you is unlike anything they've known, and they've never responded to anyone in quite the same way. Sure, they've had meaningful connections before, but this is different. It feels like they're only now waking up to just how tightly their energy is interwoven with yours. It's changing them. Not just in small ways, but in the way they view everything around them. This recognition is quietly reshaping how they think, how they feel, how they make decisions. It's influencing their actions in ways they might not even be consciously aware of. It's like the universe is nudging them toward a deeper understanding of what this connection means, and they simply can't turn away from the signs anymore. There's a bigger picture forming, something more powerful than the both of you, and they're beginning to understand that this isn't just about two people, it's about something greater unfolding. Even as they try to make sense of what's happening, each time they think about reaching out or stepping close to you again, they're hit with a wave of vulnerability. It's like they instinctively know that being near you will bring everything to the surface. The emotions, the confusion, the intensity of it all. They've been trying to protect themselves from that tidal wave, but at the same time, they understand that avoiding it isn't going to work. That moment of truth is coming, and they feel it in their bones. The words they keep hearing in the back of their mind are, "I tried to warn you." And if that resonates with what you've experienced, it may be because your presence in their life has been transformative in a way neither of you expected. Even from afar, you've changed the way they think about love, about connection, and about themselves. Looking back, there were signs everywhere, quiet signals from the universe, subtle nudges, but they may have been too tangled in their own fear or doubt to recognize them at the time. Now though, it's all starting to come together, and the energy behind everything they're feeling doesn't just feel emotional, it feels almost divine. As if something higher is guiding them toward a powerful realization about what the two of you share. They simply weren't ready to confront what was right in front of them. It's as though the universe itself had a hand in weaving the path that led to your connection, creating situations and moments meant to open their eyes. This bond between you was never meant to be something fleeting or surface level. From the beginning, it carried a weight, a sense of depth that couldn't be ignored. Every exchange, every shared look, every word that passed between you seemed to point towards something bigger, a purpose that was always there, even if they didn't fully understand it at the time. But now, it's becoming clearer. The signs were never random. They were guiding them toward a truth their heart had already begun to recognize. Before we go further, if you feel called to be part of our small and loving family, don't forget to take that step. Hit the join button and become a part of something meaningful. At the center of all of this is their emotional core. From the moment your paths crossed, something began to stir within them. There was an energetic shift, subtle yet profound, as if your presence started awakening parts of them they didn't know existed. It wasn't just about romantic attraction, it was deeper, almost as if your souls had intertwined. The connection brought up layers of emotion that challenged what they thought they understood about themselves. What you created together was a space that no one else could step into, something uniquely yours, and while that connection has felt magical, it's also brought its own set of emotional challenges. The pull they feel towards you isn't just chemistry, it's magnetic, something that keeps drawing them back, no matter how many times they've tried to distance themselves. The words, "I tried to warn you," carry a heavy, almost prophetic tone. It feels like they've been receiving messages all along, from within, from the universe, even from you. Reminders that this connection wasn't ordinary. The signs weren't meant to scare them away, but rather to prepare them for the profound changes this relationship would trigger. On some level, they've been slowly waking up to a different way of understanding love, one that breaks down old beliefs and rebuilds something more aligned with who they are becoming. It's not easy to face a connection that has the power to change your life, and yet, that's exactly what this has done for them. It's pushed them toward transformation, whether they were ready or not. There's also a deep spiritual undercurrent to what's unfolding. It's as though this connection was divinely orchestrated, as if something greater than the two of you has woven this bond into your lives with intention. From the masculine side of this energy, there's a growing recognition that they are being called back to you, not just emotionally, but spiritually. They're starting to see that the qualities you embody are not only beautiful, but essential to their growth. Your divine feminine energy, your inner light, your strength and softness, they are beginning to understand that these are the missing pieces they didn't even know they needed. They might not have been ready to see it before, but now, those truths are becoming impossible to ignore. Ever since communication between you two ceased, something within them has been shifting. This time of silence hasn't been empty. In fact, it's been filled with realizations that are now bubbling to the surface. They've tried to move forward, perhaps even to connect with others, but nothing feels the same. It's like there's a quiet voice within them, gently reminding them of you, of what was, and of what still could be. No matter how far they try to stray, they keep circling back to the feeling that what they shared with you was unmatched, irreplaceable, and perhaps, when they first stepped into this bond, they didn't comprehend just how deep it would go. But now, with space and reflection, the truth is starting to unfold for them. As that awareness grows, so does the emotional storm inside. Their energy may come across as inconsistent. One day warm, the next distant, but what's happening beneath the surface is far more complex. Their heart, whether they show it or not, is still entangled with yours. That connection hasn't faded. If anything, it's grown stronger, more persistent. as if the universe is guiding them back towards you whether they feel ready or not. This intensity, this emotional pull, is no longer something they can brush aside. It's starting to shape who they are becoming, shifting their perspective and leading them back to you, not out of comfort, but because they're beginning to realize that their soul feels at home with yours. Something major is unfolding now. This isn't just another emotional cycle, it's a turning point. There's a noticeable change in their energy. It's more intentional, more grounded. If they're finding their way back into your life, it's not a coincidence. It's a decision. One they may not fully express just yet, but it's there. They're watching, waiting, trying to feel out whether your emotional and mental energy still aligns with theirs. This pause isn't hesitation born from fear, it's born from wanting to do this right. They're trying to understand whether this reconnection is something that could genuinely last. They want to make sure both of you are in a place where this bond can thrive, not just rekindle. If you've been picking up on shifts in the air, it's not your imagination. As a spiritually attuned soul, you might have felt the energetic changes happening around you. Maybe it's been showing up in your dreams, in moments of unexplainable longing, or in those subtle flashes where you just know they've been thinking about you. These signals, though hard to explain, are real. But even with all of these signs, it's understandable to feel unsure about how to respond. Their energy might be coming and going, leaving you to question where you stand. Just know that this unpredictability doesn't reflect anything lacking in you. It's their own process of grappling with emotions they've long suppressed, and now, they're learning to navigate them with new eyes. When they say, "I've had a change of heart," believe that it's not just a phrase. It speaks to something deep and raw that's been stirring inside them. This isn't a casual return or a temporary shift in mood. It's the result of inner work that's been unfolding quietly behind the scenes. And yet, it might feel strange to you, considering how distant they seemed in the past. There were moments when they pulled away, seemed emotionally absent, or made you feel like they had moved on. But behind all of that, there was a storm of feelings they couldn't fully handle. Old fears, unresolved wounds, and emotional walls got in the way. They weren't ready to meet you with the fullness of their heart, but now, that's changing. Their heart is speaking louder than it ever has before, pulling them toward you in a way they can no longer deny, even if they don't completely understand it themselves. Even though you may sense this shift, you're still left with questions. Why now? What's changed within them that has brought them back into your orbit? The answer runs deeper than words can fully capture. It's not just a moment of clarity, it's a spiritual awakening. It's the slow unfolding of their soul as it begins to recognize what was always there. Even during the silence, even through the confusion and pain, your bond was never truly broken. It lived on in the quiet moments, in the memories, in the heartaches, and in the hope. And now, they're waking up to the truth that this connection isn't just emotional, it's soul deep, eternal. No matter how much they've tried to walk away, their spirit keeps finding its way back to you. As this person begins to grasp the truth of what this connection means, they may find themselves drawn to you in a way they can't fully explain. It's as though something within their heart is calling them back, guiding them gently, even if they don't entirely understand why. There may still be a layer of confusion or hesitation in how they come forward, but underneath all of that, something within them is beginning to shift. Though everything on the surface might appear the same, on a much deeper level, there's been a quiet transformation. The way they see you and what they believe this connection is has evolved. Any harsh judgments or assumptions they once held during your time apart are fading away, making room for a more genuine and soul-level recognition of what you truly mean to each other. This shift carries a very real, positive energy. It's not just a fleeting emotional moment. It's a true energetic settling, a spiritual alignment that's preparing the way for things to manifest in the physical world. What this person is experiencing goes beyond emotional clarity. It's a deeper kind of readiness, a soul-level invitation to move forward in a new, more conscious way. This period of transition is necessary. It gives both of you the space to heal, to grow, and to gain a clearer understanding of what this connection truly is. Even if there are still moments of doubt or hesitation, the direction you're both moving in is becoming more grounded, more purposeful. What once felt clouded is now beginning to come into focus, and something significant is beginning to stir on the horizon. Trust the unfolding. You're both moving towards something greater than what you've known before. Still, this person may not be entirely sure if you're open to reconnecting. That uncertainty is tied to the past, to what happened before the silence began. Maybe they're carrying guilt, fear, or simply confusion about how you'd respond now. They seem to be caught in a tug-of-war within themselves. Their emotions fluctuate. They feel deeply connected one moment, then pull away the next, creating a pattern that keeps repeating. They come close, then retreat, not fully understanding why they're drawn to you again and again. But despite their uncertainty, it's obvious that you hold a deep importance in their life. Even if they haven't fully figured out what to do about it, you are very much present in their thoughts when it comes to love and future decisions. There's an invisible thread that ties them to you, a spiritual bond they can't shake, even when they try. They feel it, even if they don't always know how to put it into words. But when they imagine actually being with you, something in that idea stirs a sense of vulnerability. Your energy, or the energy you both share, opens something inside of them that they have long tried to avoid. Being close to you forces them to confront parts of themselves they've been running from. That's not easy. This connection is deep. It's real. And that makes it a little scary. They may even resist the full intensity of it, unsure if they're ready for the emotional and spiritual depth that this relationship brings. They've felt this coming, whether through intuitive nudges, messages from their guides, or simply through life experiences. They were shown that this connection would be unlike anything they'd known before. Now, as they begin to witness it unfold, they're realizing just how meaningful it truly is. But the energy around them still holds a challenge. There's a lingering feeling of having to prove it to themselves, to you, to the universe. It's as though they're being asked to show that they're serious, that they're ready, that they're not just here to experience the magic without embracing the responsibility that comes with it. That inner battle between vulnerability and self-protection is still very real. At the same time, this energy highlights something powerful: free will. Yes, there's a deep connection between you, one that feels fated, undeniable. But even so, there's still a choice to be made. You both stand at a kind of crossroads, fully aware of what this bond represents, but also aware that you each have the power to choose your own path. It's a decision that keeps repeating in cycles, pulling you both back to the same place. Do you choose the more challenging, spiritually rich road together, or do you part ways in search of something easier, even if it lacks the depth and transformation this connection offers? That's why this person received a kind of warning about you, especially you, the divine feminine. It's as if the universe, through whispers from their guides or deep inner knowing, made sure they understood that this connection is not ordinary. This bond is designed to change them, to help them grow in ways they never imagined. And while there may be beauty, attraction, and even enchantment here, it won't always be simple. This journey is full of growth opportunities, but they come wrapped in challenges. There will be moments of doubt, times when everything feels uncertain. But it's through these very moments that the most profound emotional and spiritual intimacy can emerge. One thing remains undeniable. Once your masculine energy has been activated through this bond, it becomes a part of them forever. The connection is timeless. It's something that leaves an imprint, something they will carry with them no matter where they go. You've become the measure by which all others are compared, whether they admit it or not. No one else seems to match the depth, the intensity, or the uniqueness of what the two of you have shared. This love, this energy, is irreplaceable. And because of that, the impact you've had on each other continues to echo within both of you. But with that kind of bond comes a deep responsibility, especially when it comes to the choices you both make. Free will is powerful here. Every decision, even the ones that seem small, sends ripples through the connection. Whether you choose to come closer or to step away, those choices have consequences. This isn't a situation where decisions disappear into the void. They shape the path you're on. They shape who you're becoming. So, if any of this feels like it resonates with your current experience, it might be time to take a pause and reflect deeply on what it means to make conscious choices in this kind of soul-deep bond. There's something very specific in this message, almost like it's telling the story of what your masculine energy has just gone through. It's as if they reached a moment where they made a choice. Maybe they stepped away. Maybe they tried to move on, and now they're realizing they weren't truly prepared for the intensity of the connection you share. That spark, that link is still very much alive. No matter how far you are in the physical world, the energetic tie remains unbroken. Once this kind of love is ignited, it doesn't just fade. It becomes a part of you. This connection between the two of you isn't something fleeting or temporary, it's a constant presence in both your lives. It has created a bond that keeps you energetically tied to each other in a way that most people couldn't possibly understand. No matter how much time passes or how far apart you may be physically, that link remains strong and alive, making it impossible to truly forget or move on. It's something your masculine is beginning to fully realize now. Even though others may have entered their life since your separation, none of them have come close to the deep connection they shared with you. That recognition is beginning to rise to the surface, and it's causing them to reevaluate everything. If you've been apart for a while, chances are you already sense this shift happening. Even without direct communication, something inside you just knew. It's like your intuition has been quietly whispering that this person hasn't truly let go of you, even if circumstances made it seem otherwise. That sense of separation may have felt final at times, but deep down, you always knew the energetic thread connecting you both hadn't actually been severed. And if this message doesn't quite resonate with you, that's perfectly okay. This is a specific kind of energy, and it won't apply to everyone's story. Still, the truth is that you've both been making choices with your free will, moving through your own paths of growth and healing, figuring out your lives in separate ways. But even with all that distance, there's been this quiet involvement in each other's decisions, as if you're both subconsciously checking in on one another through the choices you make. The connection has never really gone dormant. It's been quietly influencing how you both move forward, even when you haven't fully realized it. It's like you're energetically woven together, still sharing a thread that tugs gently at your souls. There's something incredibly powerful about this kind of journey. Once that initial spark between you was lit, it created a transformation that changed both of you. It wasn't just a passing phase or a surface-level attraction, it was a merging of energies, something that binds you in a way that can't be easily broken. Even if you didn't fully understand the depth of it at the time, something within you both was set into motion. The person on the other end of this connection has likely been in deep reflection, thinking seriously about ending the silence or finding a way to reconnect with you. It's not that they didn't value you before. It's more that they needed to know whether this connection could stand the test of time and distance. Now it's becoming undeniable to them. No matter what they've been through during this separation, your presence has never really left their world. You've stayed with them, in thoughts, in dreams, in the subtle energy that wraps around their daily life. And this is why they're now considering stepping back into alignment with you. They're starting to accept that doing so will require them to be more vulnerable than they've ever been before. It's like they'll be standing in front of someone who sees right through them, someone who knows their soul in a way no one else ever has. That level of emotional nakedness is intimidating. It's probably one of the reasons this reunion has taken longer than either of you expected. Their fear of being so exposed, of being truly seen, has likely played a role in delaying things. But beneath that fear is a growing realization that this connection is worth it. It's worth the discomfort, worth facing the unknown, because it's rare and powerful in a way they can't ignore anymore. When the time comes, the reunion won't just be about reuniting physically. It'll be about surrendering completely to the love, the history, and the bond you both share. It's not something that can be recreated with anyone else. Their hesitation wasn't a sign of indifference. It was a reflection of just how sacred and intense this connection really is. The fear may come and go, but what you share is something eternal. This moment has been building for a long time. It may feel like something that's always been just out of reach, lingering in the background of your life. If you found yourself wondering why it's taken so long for this masculine energy to find their way back, it's because they needed something, some kind of proof. They had to feel certain, to have something concrete that could validate what their heart was feeling. That search may have taken them through different experiences, but now, it seems they've found what they were looking for. They've received the clarity they needed, and with that comes a new sense of purpose. They're now in a place where taking action feels possible, even necessary. You may have already noticed the energy shift. There's a buildup happening, something stirring in the 5D that feels stronger than usual. You might feel their presence more intensely, like they're energetically drawing closer. It's not just wishful thinking. This is the result of their heart and mind aligning with yours. Their focus is on you, and it's coming from a genuine place of awareness. Even if you can't see it in the physical world yet, they are moving towards you on an energetic level, and their thoughts are more connected to you now than ever before. But here's the twist. What you're feeling might not just be them reaching out. It could just as easily be your own energy rising and reflecting back at you. As the divine feminine, your energy has shifted too. You've grown tired of the in and out patterns, the inconsistency, the emotional roller coaster. You've stepped into a new version of yourself, one that no longer entertains half-truths or vague intentions. Your energy is now setting a boundary with the universe and with them, making it clear that only real, authentic love is welcome. If they want to come back into your life, they'll need to bring more than just a presence in your dreams or a feeling in your chest. They'll need to show up with something real, an honest conversation, meaningful actions, or a commitment that reflects growth. Whatever proof looks like for you, you're no longer willing to settle for anything less than the full truth. You've worked too hard, grown too much, and opened your heart too wide to accept anything halfway. This is a turning point, a sacred moment of change. The connection between you is intensifying for a reason. It's guiding you both to step into the fullest version of yourselves. Even if you still feel like you're in a period of waiting, trust that something is being built in the background. The energy is lining up, the foundation is being set, and the next chapter is coming. What's been forming in the unseen is getting ready to show itself in the physical world. As you take a moment to sit with this message, allow yourself to honor everything you've been through to get to this point. This isn't just about love, it's about growth, transformation, and spiritual truth. If something about this resonates with you, take that as confirmation that you're not imagining the changes you feel. You're not just sensing energy, you're part of its creation, and that matters. If this message touched you, if you felt that subtle pull within, it's worth recognizing the journey you've taken. Everything you've experienced has brought you here. Trust in that, and if this space is one that's helping you along your path, feel free to show your support. Hitting the like button, leaving a kind comment, or even sending a super thanks goes a long way in helping this message reach more hearts like yours. And of course, if you'd like to continue receiving these updates, don't forget to subscribe. Your presence here means more than you know, and we're so grateful to walk this journey with you.